Hello, and welcome to that RC channel. Alright, moving right along with this B16 WPL build, we are going to move on to suspension. In the last video, we completed the axles. If you haven't seen it, click the link above. The suspension now on the front is very different from the rear. This is just a leaf spring style. It's very easy to put together. So you would just get a small plastic leaf spring, a long plastic leaf spring, and the metal spring. Make sure the hooks are towards the front. A couple set of screws and the end caps, and this thing is done. The harder one to build is the Seesaw balance back one. So we're just going to go through how to build that. Basically, it's really simple. You're just going to take your stack of leaf springs, the big metal one, a big plastic one, and a small plastic one. You can get those all set up, and you're going to put a plastic cap on there. Along with the plastic cap, you're going to go ahead and get some screws in there. Now, it is critical to pay attention to what screws you put in here because there are machined holes and there are just plastic threaded holes, and they're of different lengths. So just make sure that you get the right ones in there. As you can see, that one's just sticking out just a little bit. And we want to get this piece right here. And we're going to go ahead and just line it up on there. And just lightly start the threads on this. And make sure you're going in straight. Get the other one. Screws are tiny. Do the same thing. And just start running them down nice and slow. Make sure they're going in even. And then stop and check the placement of your springs. And make sure those are even, and keep your finger there just to keep this spring square and even. And then you just run them down. Alright, and there you have a spring pack. You're going to take the balance beam here, just slide it right on there. Now I do like to put just a dot of lube on there. Again, want to make sure everything slides good, and this is plastic safe. Get it on there. And just make sure it moves freely. It does. Get one of the screws that have the shoulder on it. Go ahead and just run it down. You're gonna run it all the way down. And then it'll bottom out and stop. You have a little bit of a gap there. You gotta keep going down. It does get tight, but you don't want these suspension components backing out while you're driving. All right, and there you go. You have a little gap there, and it can't slide off because it's got the shoulder. Just make sure everything moves freely again. That completes that side. All right, you need to complete 2 more of these dog bones, just like this. So just lay them out in the same orientation, and then on the inside. So you have one on each side like that. All right, we're gonna get these together. All right, now that you got these 4 dog bones assembled, you wanna go ahead and assemble this piece that sits on top. And again, you're gonna take 2 more of these dog bones here, and 2 of these collared screws. Those parts are going to be on the back side. So they're going to be installed like this. And this little lip will be on the back because this doesn't fit over that. So we'll get both of those put in here. All right, we got it together and you see everything, even if it's plastic, is still moving freely. And that's how you want everything to move. Everything should move freely. All right, now we're gonna get the axles over here and we're gonna start putting together the trusses that go onto them and get them ready to set up this entire Seesaw assembly. Okay, now we're gonna move on to putting the axle trusses and everything on. Take note that the tapered edges will face in towards each other. So you want to set them just on there, right on the top like that. These two will go on the bottom and we'll send some screws up. We'll get everything together. All right, we got the axle trusses put on. As you can see, they just bolt on, and note the orientation. The slanted sides are out and the flat sides are in facing each other with the barrels on the outside. So we're gonna go ahead and start getting the rest of the system put together. That's putting the Seesaw in through the spring holes here and attaching the dog bones to the bottom of it on both sides and getting the little teeter-totter plate that goes right here. So we'll get all that together now. All right, now we have the rear suspension set up. It's on the teeter-totter there. Everything works together. There's just a few more pieces that have to go to the top once it's attached to the frame. The next thing we want to do is get the drive shaft in. So we'll show you how to build these drive shafts and we'll get this in. All right, we're gonna build a drive shaft now. We're gonna take either end here, it doesn't matter. You're gonna take one of the cylinders, slide it in there. Make sure that you can see the hole through there. Take one of the cups, slide it over, get it so that you can drop the pin in the hole and it drops straight through. And just wiggle it slowly, it'll go through. Make sure you're lined up. Okay, once the pin's in the proper spot, it'll fit all the way through. Take it and turn it up and hold it. Slide one of these spring clips on and just slide it down with your hand. It'll pop over. Takes a little bit of pressure and a little bit of time, but it will go over. You don't need any tools or anything. It's not a serious spring like that. There it goes. And as you can see, it's on there. And you're gonna repeat for the other side. All right, once you have each half built, you simply just take it and hook one end in, slide it in, and that's your drive shaft. Put some Loctite in your grub screws and install them onto the engine and the drivetrain. All right, now that we have the axle trusses and Seesaw parts on, everything kind of goes together pretty much smoothly, but it is a little difficult with the springs to get everything lined up. But if you see, it articulates. We got the drive shaft in there, and the main thing you want to do is just go ahead and spin it. Make sure your axles are spinning the same direction and that they're smooth. And you see, both sets of axles are spinning. Now we're just going to take this truss bridge, put it across the top, put the 5 screws in, and we will be done with the suspension build. All right, and there it is. The front and rear suspension is built. Just check and make sure all your axles spin in the same direction. So if we take both the drive shafts, as you can see, all the wheels are moving forward when we spin. So everything is phased and in line. And now we'll go ahead and start assembling the frame rail in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.